Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce
and Marcus Hurley
and Will.
Okay, it was E3 this week. Started on Saturday. All the press conferences happened. Lots of trailers for video games. We've all kind of made our own lists of what we thought was worth talking about. I suppose we should probably start with the game that made all of our lists, which is Skull and Bones.
Yes.
From Ubisoft, which basically looks like they've taken the naval bits out of Assassin's Creed and made it its own game.
It is Black Flag DLC, isn't it?
It is, but it's
Well-
multiplayer. I think the emphasis is multiplayer first.
Or is it Black Wake with a AAA budget?
Or is it Titan Sales?
I'll put it this way. What I was waiting for... Actually, I think it's for sailing. I was really hoping when Ubisoft put out the little
sailing.
questionnaire saying, do you like the whole naval sailing thing? And I was like, fuck yes, and I responded to that. And I was thinking, something like Bethesda's Pirates of the Caribbean, Sid Meier's Pirates, that sort of thing. I want to be a pirate merchant sim. I want to sail the seas and take a ship if I want to, ignore it if I want to, and trade and find if hemp is good over there and in demand, and just sail around and do awesome things. But no, I think basically all I can do here is join the online friends I don't have and shoot the shit out of other boats.
Which you can also do in Sea of Thieves, which is coming later as well.
Yep.
Yes,
Ah,
but
yes.
my friends are all on my boat, and in this one my friends are in other boats. Therein lies the difference.
Yeah, I think Sea of Thieves is more of a traditional kind of MMO thing where you've got like an avatar. I don't even know if you've got an avatar in this because they saw you
think
boarding
Sea of-
ships, but
I think
saw-
Sea of Thieves is also a lot sillier,
Yes.
which to me is
Yeah.
actually a thing in favour of Sea of Thieves.
/ more fun, yeah.
Yes, you can fire yourself out of a cannon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think you'll be able to do that in Skull and
Accidents
Bones.
happen, yeah.
Yeah, there's not really that much more info on it, but yeah, it seems like a no-brainer. I think the reason Black Flag went over so well was the fact that it was a pirate game more than it was an Assassin's Creed game. So it's taken them a couple of years to actually bring something out, but it definitely feels like a reaction to that.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
think the trouble is they picked up on the naval combat bit that I think a lot of people enjoyed, but they've picked up on it from the, why can't we have naval combat in multiplayer cry out, because it had a multiplayer game which was the straightforward Assassin's Creed classic blending in with the crowd assassinating bit, and they've kind of gone, that's what people wanted. Whereas, and maybe that is what people wanted, multiplayer naval combat. But what I want is single player naval piratey shit without all the Assassin's Creed bollocks mixed in. I was genuinely hoping for I can captain my ship, I can go on land, I can sword fight, I can fight skeletons and pirates and do all sorts of Guybrush Threepwood shit, and then sail my ship and take over ships if I want to, and trade and do all of that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm unhappy.
Did you ever play Sid Meier's Pirates?
Only a little bit, but yes, I did. It was
I-
a wonderful thing. I just didn't. I think I had a pirate copy of it. Ironically, it didn't really work when my PC died.
It's on a tablet, I think, if you feel a mobile piratey need. So, but anyway, we should probably wriggle on. There's
Yep.
so much to get through here.
Oh yeah.
Shall we stick with Ubisoft, perhaps, or is there?
Yes. No. Ubi's
We might
a
as
good
well.
lead in.
They did have a really killer lineup, actually. Should we do? There was Far Cry 5, I think.
Which is
Do
out this
Far Cry
year.
5?
Huh?
Far Cry 5
Sorry?
is out this year, isn't it?
Should we do Far Cry
it's-
5?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out February next year, so not long. And it's I mean, we knew about this before E3. It's going to be set in a fictional county in Montana, and it's going to be dealing with a lot of all the like Bible bashing sort of fear mongering type people, isn't it?
Christians.
Well, yeah, I don't know. They're a bit more extreme than that, I think.
Yeah,
But,
I must say,
David Koresh type thing.
yeah.
the trailer. I was expecting Far Cry 5 to be a lot more of Far Cry 4, and I think Ubisoft have done something very interesting by moving off of this sort of tropical or different island or like exotic faraway place and going to fucking the United States of America and going proper redneck Bible Belt area. I think that's really cool, and I think it's actually very brave.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome, and I'll tell you what, I started watching that trailer. I hadn't seen it before, and I went into it just because Rob had put it on his list of ones to talk about, and I watched that, and I thought the moment you're talking to this assistant, you can tell her where to go to take the sniper shots, and I thought, oh, that was cool. And then John Lee Hooker's Boom 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 kicks in. Proper bit of fucking old school blues. Don't think it was the John Lee Hooker version, to be fair. I think it was a cover, but God, that trailer was awesome. I'm properly psyched for that game now. That was a very well done trailer.
Couple of interesting points about Far Cry 5. It's the first game that you can do co-op 2-player all the way through, and also it's the first Far Cry where you get to make your character. So you're not playing a predefined character. You get to decide on who your character is.
Does it feel like Ubisoft might be starting to learn some shit rather and expand their games? I think maybe they've started reading the commentary about Ubisoft, which is, it's the bog standard formula. Maybe they're getting better. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would.
Maybe.
I think they even made light of the fact that their new logo looks like the aerial view of a turd.
I hadn't actually noticed that.
I thought you were the one that showed me that.
If only I'm not that creative.
I think maybe that was Marcus or someone else. I don't know.
No,
it was quite funny.
I don't know,
though.
it wasn't me. I'd love to have put my hand up to that.
I'll be honest,
Probably
I'm a big
Macca.
gluten intolerant. The aerial view of my turd is nothing that spectacular. It's certainly not any got any proper formation, but that's just me.
Yeah. Okay, we should probably move along. What's next?
You don't want to talk more about the aerial view of my turds?
No.
No, or...
Ian,
well, I'm more
thought
interested in that than Far Cry 5, perhaps.
No,
but I don't
not
know.
today, thank you.
Okay, fine.
No.
Fair enough.
Tempting as it is.
All right, let's. What else we got?
Anything else
what
from
else?
Ubi?
What else was new? What else was new this year that we didn't already know about?
Anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
the
it
new
Anthem
BioWare
that
game.
was one of the
Anthem
Xbox
was-
X demos?
Yeah.
Because
The
that's
one
the
where
one
they
I'm
were
thinking
in
of.
they get in the suits.
Yeah, but
I
fucking
believe-
hell, the intro to that demo, because I think they said it was part of the Xbox conference, and they said this is Anthem on the Xbox X, and I was watching the original, and it's kind of the CGI trailer at the front, but I was looking at that, I was looking at the detail on the skin, and I was looking at the facial modelling, and I was literally sitting there going, fucking hell, it's some of the best facial stuff I have ever seen. By a long way. It was really
Except
impressive.
that one time on Pornhub, right?
Marcus, you're
Sorry.
with us. I could see the top of your head.
It's working!
Sort of.
Sorry.
You got shorter.
I don't care.
Sorry,
Anyway, carry on.
for the listeners,
Carry
Marcus
on.
has just finally brought up video feed, but we can now see his forehead.
He's doing some
Nothing
point of view
else.
stuff. That's what he's doing.
I'm doing a Ubisoft and I'm synchronising the map. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
That ain't quite eagle vision you've got going on there.
Definitely up to something.
Oh, right.
Carry on. Seriously.
Christ.
Sorry.
I thought Anthem looks
Anthem.
interesting, but Anthem is it was the trouble is it kills it for me every time because I am not a multiplayer kind of person other than Overwatch, but because I don't have online friends or time to sync up with online friends specifically. I'm
it's
sure
tricky. I mean,
if I didn't have a job
we try
and
and stick
family, sorry, go on.
yeah, we try and me, Ian, and a couple of others try and stick to like a Wednesday night. That's like our sort of go-to. It doesn't always happen, but we try and do something. And it does seem like the kind of game if everyone got on board with that. I could imagine fitting into that kind of once a week sort of blast.
I'm loving it because it reminded me of, oh god, I'm going a bit old school, sort of Fantasy Star Online. Maybe it's because it was the whole tropical jungle thing, but to be honest, I was kind of, because I skipped away from that and I looked back and I saw that running and I was like, oh, what game's this? First I thought it was probably like a Destiny follow-up.
Well, that's the thing, a lot of people are saying it's a Destiny meets something else kind of.
Yeah.
Definitely got a bit of Destiny about it.
But I'll tell you what, it's fucking beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, I will say that for it.
You get to be fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth.
When you're fucking Iron Man, is he in his suit or out of it?
You're in your suit, and so is he.
Oh.
No,
Have
but
you got the hose pipe
love
attachment on the front?
You're both in your birthday suit.
I like
Iron
it when
Man birthday suit. Sorry, Rob. I'm being awful. Right, I'll tell you what. I'll shut the fuck up. Go.
It's just, not only has it got the whole Iron Man thing, like the suit and the kind of like that sort of like sonic boom as you're flying around, but also like the weapons when you like set all the targets up and then just release and you get that huge explosion. It's like totally like, they're just leaning so hard into that Iron Man thing.
It's like fucking Iron Man, isn't it? You lean so hard and then... No, okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, but I wanted them to make an Iron Man game in the same way, and we could perhaps segue now into Spider-Man.
Iron Man does the things that an iron can.
Not that Iron
Is
Man.
it greased? Not that bad. Watch out. Here comes the Iron Man.
No, I've always wanted them to do like an Arkham treatment on a Marvel superhero, particularly Iron Man. I think would work really well, but I think they're doing a fantastic job with the Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man looks amazing. I watched the trailer for that, and I have to say,
literally,
the background looks entirely Watch Dogs to me, right?
Yeah.
I played Watch
New
Dogs
York.
too. Yeah, it's the whole sort of New York's the cityscape, it's the building sites and all that stuff, and even down to the point where you can interact with the scenery. But I think you can interact with the scenery a bit more in Spider-Man. There's a lot going on, and the moves are all about interacting with the scenery and things. So you can sling your web and you can pull shit in and hit them with it. And the web is a major part of the arsenal. I watched the Spider-Man trailer and some of the gameplay stuff, and I have to say, I'm genuinely interested in that. That looks slick. It looks fun. I think most important thing, that looks like really good fun.
It looks like really well directed as well, and also they've said that this is their own Spider-Man universe. It's got nothing to do with the movies. They're bringing out some deep sort of comic lore. I can't remember the group of enemies that you're fighting in it, but they're well known in the comics. Hey,
what?
Daleks.
I recognise Fisk.
Yes, definitely. Who
He's
didn't watch
in there.
Daredevil? That was wonderful.
Yeah.
But what I would say about Spider... So this is the same guys that did... So this is another PS4 exclusive. PS4, whilst not rocking it as hard as they did last year, are still coming out with some cracking exclusives. This is one of them. Because it's the same software house that did Ratchet and Clank. And one thing I know about the Ratchet and Clank games is they are fun.
Yeah.
They've got a really good concept for that. Whether they can do combat, as in hand-to-hand combat, I don't know. But what they can do is the scenery interaction and the gameplay and the concept and the storytelling. So I think there's some good pedigree there.
Yeah, I think the combat looked like Arkham, but with just a bit more kind of environment interaction, like absolutely. The way you could like...
Yeah, fully ripped off of Arkham, let's be honest.
And I think there was a point where he was kind of mid-jump and was able to slow things down and sort of like have time to sort of target stuff and like web something to like swing it into some guy. There was like some huge kind of crane thing that he managed to twist round and knock some guy flying. But yeah, it looked awesome. I mean, it's probably my game of the show, to be honest. We saw the trailer last year, but we actually got to see it in action, and that's what I want out of a superhero game, like that sort of level of. And Spider-Man's the one to do it as far as Marvel's concerned because he's got all those villains. You know, I've always thought like Spider-Man's kind of like equivalent to Batman in that he has the greatest roster of adversaries. You know, the most well-known. You know, Dr. Ock, the Goblin,
the Daleks.
Vulture.
The Daleks, yes, of course. But
Doc Ock
yeah,
and the
no,
Daleks.
I'm absolutely pumped for Spider-Man. Well up for that.
Yeah, no,
The thing is,
this will be high up for me. Sorry, go on, Marcus, please.
I thought it looked quite good because I've played a few of the old ones from the PS2 era, PS1 and PS2.
Yeah, I've had a go on
I think
them.
they're all Activision ones, and they were a bit clunky. They were
Yeah.
fun. But
I never played
I've always
PS2. Yeah, there was a PS2 Spider-Man that everyone said the navigation through the city by web was the absolute highlight, just swinging from place to place. And it feels like the oh Christ, if only I can't. Is it Insomniac? No,
They're the company
Whoever
that are
did
making
Ratchet.
a new one. Yeah.
right. Yes, it is Insomniac. I think they've really paid attention to that and kind of gone. Well, in the PS2 one, you just kind of slung your web and actually it stuck to the sky. It was all about skyhooks and stuff. But Insomniac
That's right.
really,
That's right. I was about to mention that.
yeah, they tried to do a fully traversable city where you can sling your web, and if there's a corner on the building, you'll swing that corner. But it's all about the timing. But you really get that feeling of I am Spider-Man and I'm going around the place, just like with Batman. And you got the grapple hook and the gliding and stuff. I think it's going to be really well done.
I love that bit where he kind of leapt onto that side of that building, and then the whole camera just tilted up as he like ran up it.
Yeah.
It was just like fucking wicked. Like,
And it was
So
the bits
up that.
where he was chasing the copter around, and it's the whole wall running as well. So you don't have to constantly swing after it. You could take a breather, run up some part, leap over, and then carry on.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going to be a lot of fun, and it felt like you could do it in a slightly maybe narrower path, but there's different ways, and it felt like you achieved it through your actions.
Ian, have you seen the trailer for Spider-Man? Have you seen the stuff?
I have. I'm quite excited about it, but I'm aware that the most recent two games, the last one had really shitty frame rate issues and was a crappy port on the PC. If this is to be ported
you're a little
to the
bit
PC.
nervous.
absolutely
wait.
will not.
This is a
Absolutely
PS4
won't.
exclusive.
One of the
And
things about
Sony
E3
owns
is
Spider-Man.
it's a market for whore marketing, and it's even the EA presentation and stuff. Most of them, it was just marketing people run amok. So while I'm excited about the trailers and they do look good, I am jaded enough to think, might as well wait for the gamers to play it and see what they say before I throw my hard-earned pennies at it. And Spider-Man is definitely one of those games. It does look good. I think it looks a bit structured and linear.
Like Ratchet and Clank is. Yep.
But I'm willing to see. I'd rather wait for a human to play it and not a marketing person or them trying to promote it at an event.
Yeah.
You're doing your best not to get too excited, because if it is really good, that's amazing. And if it's not as good as it looks, then I get that.
All that-
But like I say, it's PS4. It's only one. There's only one box it's coming out on, and it's being done by a software house that to me has an amazing pedigree, which is all the Ratchet and Clank series. And they are properly quality controlled. So that's my gut instincts.
They did the Resistance games as well, which I never played, but were apparently pretty good if you like playing console first-person shooters.
Which I don't.
But yeah, Ian's no, fair enough. Ian, so bearing in mind your disclaimer, was there anything else that fired you up in the slightest at E3?
Yes, there was. Bear with me, and I'll just get the list open again.
Oh,
My
dear.
list.
Well, this
Busted.
yeah,
Got to
Rob's
Well,
short
I
list.
just
of
wanna-
20
Got to
games.
break.
Just want to add, whilst Ian's sort of
Thanks,
dealing
Marcus.
with
Good
list
recovery, mate.
issues, I just want to say that we do live in a post Watch Dogs E3 era or world.
Yarp.
So the idea of when someone had to basically just patch the game to look like it did back when we saw it on at E3.
Yeah.
So I can understand Ian's skepticism
And that's
because
really
a lot of
where it's
games
come
are
from.
tweaked.
That's
A lot of games are
absolutely where it's come
tweaked
from. It's all-
to
it's
show their
vertical-
absolute best.
Yeah, it's vertical slices now to sell the idea. And even there's been a number over the last few years where we get the idea, but we don't get what was promised, and we get enough of that with movie trailers. So
But now and again, something turns
be
out where they didn't present the
absolutely.
idea, and it was more than it was. I mean, Shadow of Mordor is the one that springs to
Absolutely.
mind,
yep.
yeah.
which takes us nicely on to.
I think
Hold on,
we
still
could
finding the list.
mention that.
Oh, tell you what, while
We
you
could
look,
mention that. I did
you
just
look
want
at
to
your
quick-
list, because I want to
Where
mention
is the
Shadow of War.
fucking list?
Because did
Okay.
Go on,
anybody
then.
see the Shadow of War trailer with Bruce? Not Bruce, the Australian orc. And you've got,
Yeah.
you've got Talion.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you've got
yeah,
this
yeah.
orc going,
Does.
"G'day, mate. I'm an orc, and I'm really chatty, and you've just completely destroyed my mind, but I'm all over your side. And my Australian accent is actually as convincing as Will's one. But
I think it
you've
was
got, you've got this
Kiwi, actually,
massive... He
but-
wasn't an orc, was he? It was like some... Oh, I don't follow the Tolkien stuff, but he was
Probably
like an
a
ogre orc thing.
half-breed. or
Urukai.
That's what I said. And the
Yeah.
whole Shadow of War thing, I must say, if they keep it simple and up the difficulty, for fuck's sake, because Shadow of Mordor didn't have difficulty settings, and it was too easy. Far too easy once you'd gotten past a couple of levels.
Did you think? I thought
Yeah.
you could make that as difficult as you wanted once you got into those melees. I remember
No.
being in like
Well, yeah,
huge pitched
you're right. You
battles
could
with
do it
about 50
one-handed.
dudes.
Yeah, you're right. You could do
Yeah,
it
I
one-handed
did-
or something, and that made it
Yeah.
difficult.
It did,
Or
yeah.
maybe blindfold yourself. But there was no difficulty slider. There was no like, I'm going to do this on easy, do this on hard, do it on bastard level. It was
Yeah.
if you play the way I play these games, which you go through and you kind of go, oh, there's a main quest level there, but I'm going to clear up everything nearby before I get onto that, and you're constantly over leveled on everything, then it's too easy. Whereas you look at Batman
Yeah.
games, which are from the same software house effectively, or Warner Brothers at least, you could play it on easy or bastard. That's all I want from Shadow of
Yeah.
War. Is I want to play it on bastard. It's a lot more rewarding, but the game looks amazing.
Yeah,
It looks
I
like they've
was just
put lots
watching.
of-
I was just watching a bit of a demo on that, and it's basically, it looks like really intricate kind of assaults on castles and like lots of. I like seems like they've tried to make the Nemesis system try and take, because a lot of that was all handled in like a menu, and they're trying to sort of bring
it
that
into
out
the
of the
game
menu.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
it
not
looks,
kind of-
they've added a lot more depth. All the things that they had to basically discard because they were doing it on like last generation and this generation, they can now kind of go, well, we're well into the generation. We don't need to hold it back for anything else, and let's just do the things we wanted to, and that's really exciting. And this is out
Yeah.
like August. that's
I
major.
I think they got delayed to October actually.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a bummer actually, because it was supposed to come out. I don't know. Maybe they had to make it 4K
Yeah,
or
10th
something.
of October. 10th of October. But that's not so bad. That's not too far.
No.
That's not too far. If you
No,
look
no.
at E3 a lot of the time is about games coming out in a few years' time, maybe 2018, maybe later in this case. So something coming out in October. It's only a few months. We can hold on. We've got Far Cry coming out in what, November?
No, Far Cry's February.
What's that?
Probably the
depressing.
Wolfenstein is out pretty soon. The new Wolfenstein that they showed.
Yeah.
The new Colossus.
Oh, the
or
new
something.
Colossus. That looks like fun as well. That trailer is again awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they've got a thing, Bethesda. They love doing their whole kind of alternative history, don't they? With like Fallout and this as well is similar.
Oh, come on! If you watch the new Colossus, if you've played Fallout 4 and you watch the new Colossus trailer, it's in one of those diners that's straight out of Fallout. I'm not kind of saying there's a massive crossover there, because obviously Fallout series has this kind of 1940s but in the future, 1950s in the future kind of vibe going on to it, and obviously.
Yeah.
This is post-World War II, when the Nazis have won. They're in the US. Very much Man in the High Castle kind of style.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have a problem with that interpretation of things, because I think it creates a really fascinating concept. So you've got this lovely thing where you've got BJ Blazkowicz, and he's in this diner, and you see this Nazi officer being all friendly and nice, and then be going, but who are you? And that's my German accent, by the way. We do not have to make a thing about this. But it's
Tossed me
looks-
marmalade.
But you got this fucking giant like hound things that breathe fire, and it suddenly turns out you as BJ Blazkowicz can ride a fucking fire-breathing metal Nazi hound, and burn the shit out of people. And you know what? That's exactly what you need from Wolfenstein. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing, and I really have enjoyed what Bethesda have done with Wolfenstein, and I'm looking forward to more of it. Again, another one. Trailer really got me hyped. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I love the basic conceit with those games, isn't it? Because they said they're going to they're still going to have the thing where you've got like the two like lieutenants who you can play each encounter sort of stealthy to a point, and then it all goes to shit eventually.
And then guns blazing.
But you can. I played through a great portion of those games, stealthy as fuck, and managed to take out the guys so they couldn't call reinforcements. But, you know, it does always go to shit, and it's just a beautiful thing, really, because those guns are modelled incredibly well. I think they actually, Bethesda actually got Machine Games to help out with Fallout 4, actually, for some of the gun stuff they were doing.
Guys definitely did, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So, while we're on that subject, now, because I believe you and Ian are both kind of... I've never tried VR. I'm going to at some point. You know, it's a maturing thing. And I see I now have Ian's attention. But there's announcements from Bethesda that both Skyrim and Fallout 4 are going to be available in VR this year, I believe. How fucking cool is that? Even if you've done those games to death, don't you want to be the Dragonborn? Or don't you want to be the Survivor? And just go through those games again in fully immersive first-person virtual reality. Surely. That's amazing.
Ian?
Yes. I have done Skyrim. I have done Skyrim in VR. You could do it with some bit of hacking stuff with one of the old headsets, and it was really good. Really, really good fun.
And the proper Bethesda approved version has to be taking from that and improving, surely.
Yeah, you would certainly hope so. The main thing is the controllers, because the previous hacking version, or you could use keyboard and mouse, and that was fine, and you could look around. But this version lets you do stuff with the controllers, so you can do shouts and stuff.
Oh,
I'm waving my arms around, dear listener.
Right, yes.
So you can do stuff and swords and shit. And there's a ton of VR games that let you do that. Friend of the show, Pat. He's got a Twitch, on his Twitch channel, he was playing a game called Shit. That wasn't the name of the game.
I think I played that, actually. Wasn't that from Ocean Software on the ZX Spectrum?
I'll let Rob know the link and he can put it in the show notes. But it's basically Counter-Strike in VR. And because one of the headsets, the Vive, lets you move around Pavlov's VR or shooter or something.
Yeah,
I remember what you're talking about.
Pavlov VR, yeah.
So you can, with the bigger headsets, the more expensive ones, you can put the controllers out in front of you like you're holding a gun. So Pat was hiding in a little cubby hole in a corridor, and he was holding the gun out in front of him and firing down the corridor.
For Fallout, because PlayStation have released that new one they released with Farpoint. They've got this new gun controller that works with the VR headset. And as a Fallout kind of guy, or Fallout boy, that could be fucking fascinating. If you can use that to aim and shoot at, like, the raiders and the super mutants and things. Basically, you're wearing the headset, you're carrying the gun. And you've not just got this 15-minute tech demo, but you've got this 200-hour RPG that you could do in virtual reality. Is that too much, though?
I don't think people will be able to do that. Sorry, Rob. Go on.
No, I agree. I just agree. It would be like a 400-hour game. I tell you, 1 hour in VR, 10 minutes in VR can feel like an hour sometimes.
Yeah. You need to get your VR legs, so I do worry that it may not be picked up by the masses and won't necessarily shift units.
But you know what? I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah. I'm sure Rob will add it to his list of things at some point when he's rehoused. Wow, that's
my big issue. My big issue personally, sorry Rob, but my big issue is I'm currently working towards my Fallout 4 Platinum on PlayStation. I've got about 15 of the trophies. I've completed it on 2 mission sets. I'm level 40 something to get up to level 50. I'm just sorting out all of that. Now, if it comes out on VR and I embrace the headset and I suddenly have to start the trophies from zero, that's just not going to happen.
It might do in VR.
No.
It may very well in doing, because it's like a new game. I played Elite Dangerous for a while without it being in VR. Really loved it. VR with Elite Dangerous, when you could look around and lean up, look out the top of the cockpit. Fucking hell, it's like a new game. It's absolutely like a new game, like a familiar game.
Despite it being the older game, I'm more interested in Skyrim in VR than I am in Fallout. I think Skyrim in pure VR as a totally immersive fantasy. Fuck me, I'm a swordy bastard kind of experience. It's how I technically describe it. Swordy bastard, yeah. It's a technical thing. I don't expect you to understand. That's what I want.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, I've seen a couple of the mods for Skyrim where people turn the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine. And that's creepy enough, like just watching on a video. That would scare the living shit out of me in VR. You know, just sort of having Thomas the Tank Engine raining fire down on you. I completely agree with what you said, Ian. I mean, I've had limited experiences with VR, but it's the level of immersion. Yeah. Anyone that says VR is absolute rubbish has not given it a go. Just has not played it. I think because it's insane. It is just incredible.
Yeah, it's so insane. I've had to pack mine up. It's too insane.
I think just
for
the dragons in Skyrim VR would be enough, because you can't escape from them. There's no. It would be the spiders, the fucking spiders for me. Jesus.
Oh God.
I'm not really afraid of spiders, but I am when they're the size of a pony. So
I couldn't be playing. I won't be playing that. Unfortunately, that'd be a big bucket of nope.
So, out of interest, chaps, were there any other VR interests for you guys?
Fallout,
Doom
just
as well. Fallout,
petting the dog.
Oh, sorry, Doom. Yes. So we got Fallout and Skyrim, but yes, Doom's doing the VR thing as well, which is pretty fucking cool. Although
I'm more likely to play the Doom one. I'm more likely to play the Doom one because it's a. I'm more likely to play the Doom one because it's a little more sort of disposable, and that's kind of how I like my VR these days. So far, I like smaller experience.
Do they call it VFR?
Yeah, virtual fucking reality. Because it's Doom, of course.
Rip and tear in VR, man. Rip and tear.
Okay. There were a couple of other things that I'd not heard of. Sorry, Ian.
Go on. No, that's fine. Crack on.
I was going to mention A Way Out.
Yep.
I thought that's the multiplayer. That's the co-op.
2-player. Yeah.
Can only be played in 2-player. That sounds pretty cool.
It's by the people that did Brothers, and it looks like it starts off like a bit of a prison break, but apparently there's a lot more to do after that.
As long as it's not like Prison Break and it's only good in the prison.
Exactly,
God, no.
Yeah. Or the first series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, they've been really kind of uncompromising about it and made it so that you can only play it 2-player. It's split screen even if you play online, because that's the kind of aesthetic they've gone for. So, like, you might have one player in a cutscene while another player's doing something else while that player's doing the cutscene. So you could almost end up going into their frame if you want. Yeah. If the gameplay requires you to, or you just fancy it.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fascinating, but I will never play that because, again, that's the sort of thing I could play with the wife, but she would have. I can now and again get her to play a game with me, but not that sort of thing. That's kind of like too violent, nasty, brutal. I have to play cutesy games with her if I can persuade her at all. We're talking Little Big Planet kind of level here, and I would never have the time to invest with anyone online just to get through it, sadly. Although it looks really interesting.
I think it's the kind of game
I'm going to have to get a PS4, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, well, that's...
Sorry, Marcus.
Yes, Marcus. Yes, you are.
I'm going to have to get a PS4, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys are having all the fucking fun in the world.
Is this another PS4 exclusive?
Then all of us can do Red Dead Redemption 2 next year, Marcus.
But is this isn't PS4 exclusive, is it?
I don't think so.
Let me just double check this. So this is A Way Out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it is an exclusive.
Keep
Windows,
talking.
PS4 and Xbox One. It's all of them.
Hey, oh, you're quicker than me.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
you don't
Yeah.
have to get one, Marcus.
That's what the ladies say.
but
Oh,
I
that's
think it's the
nothing
kind of
to be
game
proud
that
of.
you could I think it would be best played on one screen in the
Couch
same
co-op,
room.
yeah. It could be
Yeah.
done
Yeah,
couch or
because the-
internet, but I reckon couch is the way to go for that. But that's when you
Yeah,
have
you
somebody
could
who
get a
wants to
few
play it with you.
beers. Yeah, you could have a few beers and you could probably play it over a weekend or just do an all day or something and probably get through it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like it's going to be sort of 5 or 6 hours long. I would think, but
Yeah.
I must say, Marcus, this is the sort of thing that I think your missus
I know,
would be up for. I think it's
That's
the way
exactly,
it goes.
yeah. But I think also it's exactly what I was talking about in a previous podcast where I kind of missed the idea of
Couch co-op.
friends over couch gaming. Yeah, couch co-op. Yeah.
Have you got you got an Xbox, right?
I do have an Xbox, two
One.
pads.
Yeah. An
No
Xbox
friends.
One. Not an Xbox One box.
No, not a One XBY02 plus alpha.
you have a capable console.
I have a console that absorbs dust. Lots of dust.
You have a console that could play games.
I have games.
Should you
in the
decide
corner.
to?
I can see the games.
While we're on a sort of couch co-op tip, there was another one that Ian kindly drew my attention to last night, called Hidden Agenda,
Oh, yeah.
which is by who's this by? This is the guys who
Supermassive.
did
Lovely folk just down the road from me.
And
Supermassive
they
who did
did-
Until Dawn.
yes, which is another game I still haven't got to, but am planning on. But yeah, this one it's got it's a kind of cop game. It's like a serial killer sort of thriller
nice.
type thing.
This is,
But the thing is with-
this is fascinating. This is this new thing that PlayStation didn't particularly sell hard in E3, but are going to announce more about, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called. But it's this weird couch co-op second screen shit going on.
Yeah, where you basically can use your phone to play the game. So that there's moments in the game where you have to make decisions, and everyone has like an app, and I think they actually choose different roles, and they have access to slightly different information. And there's actually, in the way that a board game like Dead of Winter might have, where you've kind of got your
Everything's
own.
totally different, yeah.
Well, you as players have ulterior motives, and so like certain players might have a vested interest in making decisions a certain way because that will benefit their outcome or something like that. But it sounds wicked, and like it's totally built around the idea of having 3 friends over, or having 4 of you in a room watching it on the TV and everyone getting to play the game at the same time. Sounds awesome. I'm so up for that.
I think that's a great way of doing gaming. I think, to be honest.
Do you know what appeals to me the most about this, realistically, is the fact that they're allowing use of mobile phones and multiplayer local couch co-op to be able to sort of play games. So you can all sit around the sofa and you've all got this controller, which is your phone, to do it. And do you know what that really sparks to me? I can't remember what the name of this new feature's called, but it's like PlayStation Play or something really fucking dull. What that brings to me is Buzz. Now, did you guys ever have Buzz?
Oh, yeah.
The fucking quiz game on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Voiced by Jason Donovan. Now, it was really difficult to an extent to sell because you had to buy the specific quiz controllers. But with these days, with the smartphones, if you've just got 4 colours on the phone, you could actually tune in. You could play Buzz using this technology. I'm anticipating a resurgence of Buzz, and I can't wait, because the proper British general knowledge trivia quiz was one of the highlights for me for a multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is what I want.
Yeah, well, Playlinks, they apparently use that same software for SingStar Karaoke and a couple of other party games. So yeah,
Awesome.
Marcus, you were saying about party games getting a Wii U. Fucking just get a PS4.
Dude, I'm all over that shit. I'm on that like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. It's
But
it's the thing to do.
And they've also got Horizon Dawn Zero and all the other games that I actually want to play.
Horizon Dawn
absolutely.
Zero. Yeah, love
And
that one.
Guilty Gear. And possibly actually a little segue. Arc Systems, company behind that, released a little trailer. It got a few seconds of footage, but Dragon Ball Fighters, or Dragon Ball Fighter Z, that's a game I'm really looking forward to. I'm still a fan of the whole 2D beat 'em up. This is a 2.5D where it's almost like a 3D characters in a 2D setting.
How does that
sort
work?
Of aka Tekken sort of style. But I just think that game,
So what's the difference between
2.5D is basically 3D
2.5D?
polygonal characters, but there's no sidestepping, there's no 3D interaction. It's basically like a Street Fighter game. Street Fighter 4 is 2.5D.
Yeah.
It's 2D, but they call it
So it's just
2.5D
2D
because
then.
2D is sprite based. Basically, if it's a flat sprite based game, that's 2D. Yeah.
You've got depth and parallax.
They call it that. It might
You
not
wouldn't
actually
necessarily-
be true,
never
you
used to
know.
have them.
Yeah, if you can't frankly move through three
Yeah.
directions, if you can only go left
I
or
know
right,
it's 2D,
it's
but
2D.
they just
Sorry.
call
Yeah,
it
it's
that to
superficial.
differentiate
It's just a
between
presentational style.
yeah,
Industry calls
That's
it 2.5, so...
yeah. But
Industry
that's the
and
whole
twats.
point. I mean, they're using 3D characters on a 2D plane. That's it. But anyway, the game I thought looked. I mean, I've been following this development for a little while. So when I saw the trailer drop, my jaw dropped as well because I did not expect it to look that good. I mean, I've met the guys responsible for that. They're in a little showing in Trocadero in London years and years ago, back in my arcade games day, and I've met both of them. And it's just insane that they're still involved in all these games. I mean, I've played the whole Guilty Gear games from PlayStation era, and the fact that they're now bringing something insane like Dragon Ball Z to the masses in this way, because they've just been strange sort of.
Sorry,
Well,
I've got to challenge you on something. Oh, we're in
Yeah.
England, isn't it? Dragon Ball Z.
no,
Do we
that's the
need to
name of the
call it
title,
what the
so that's what I'm
Americans
going
do?
with. You know. Yeah, but it's kind of
yeah,
like.
it's like the thing. It's
Yeah,
like, it's like the zombie thing. It's not
Yeah, but
World
that's why
War
we
Z.
called it
It's
Burma
World
for
War
ages
Z.
instead of Myanmar. Because
But then,
Is it
again,
DayZ
they're not gonna
then?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's where I was coming to. And then we got that issue because Daisy sounds like a lovely, flowery kind of zombie survival sim. DayZ sounds a bit harsher.
I just
it's
go.
so difficult.
I just go with
So
what they
difficult.
seem to call it, and it seems to be called Dragon Ball Z rather than Dragon Ball Z.
But well, no, isn't it Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
I don't
And if you
care. I'm
pronounce
going to
it just
plug
in
in
the-
my
in
pad
the
and make
English,
stuff
it'd be
light
Dragon
up.
Ball
I don't
Fighters.
care. I don't care if it's called.
Wouldn't it just be Dragon Ball Fighters rather than Dragon
Could
Ball
be.
Fighter Z?
Could be. But anyway,
Yeah.
We'll
that's
have
not
to
the point
agree
I'm
to
focusing on. The
disagree.
point is, I think it looks insane, and I love the fact that there's still games like this that are coming out. I mean, you've got the Marvel Ultimate, was it Marvel versus Capcom Ultimate or something coming out? So it's looking interesting.
that's looking interesting.
Considering that whole genre was supposed to be dead, and the whole talks between Marvel and Capcom was supposed to be over when Nintendo took over. You know, there was lawsuits and everything. This game shouldn't exist. But it's just the fact that there's still these games coming out. There aren't that many, but it looks like they're pumping a little bit of money into this, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, so I've got to bloody get one.
That's an interesting. So on a similar basis and a similar game kind of genre, roughly, no, differently entirely, but it was a classic Nintendo one. Well, it started off PlayStation, but went heavily Nintendo, and then suddenly there's
Yes.
the Monster Hunter World, and that is not announced for the Switch, but it's announced as a general multi-platform, but. Coming back elsewhere.
It's massive in Japan.
I've never played
I mean,
the Monster
basically,
Hunter games
the
myself.
Monster Hunter sales in Japan are keeping this studio alive. It sells out Far East. The whole region basically funds this studio. It's huge, and you can get it on
I
the
played
US
one on
as well.
PSP.
I think occasional ones. It's kind of like there was an old series called Dot Hack. It had a series of games, and they came out and they were basically grey imports and stuff like that. But Monster Hunter is huge, absolutely massive, outside of Western world. So the fact that they announced that was another thing that also made me kind of, we're kind of eating into each other's lists a little bit now. So
Yeah, no. Oh, definitely. Mine's diminishing though. I've got
Yes.
Metro Exodus on here. Did you see any of that, Ian?
I saw a little bit of it. It looks good. I've not actually finished Last Light for some reason. That kind of ground to a halt for me. Just couldn't get through
You're
it.
too scared. Were you too scared?
I've not said it
I'll
for a
tell you
while.
what,
But go
guys.
fuck yourself.
I'll tell you what.
It wasn't that I wasn't. It wasn't that I was too scared. I just couldn't find a
I'll
cupboard
tell you
to
what.
hide in. There's a
That
difference.
fucking
Oh,
bear.
okay. Oh, okay.
That
I'm a
fucking
big
bear
fan
in
of
the
cupboards,
demo.
that's what.
I would be in the
That
cupboard.
fucking
The bear, yeah.
Bear
It looked really.
bear
It was really
protagonist,
cool,
that's what
actually,
you
the
need.
way it interacted. I guess it looked. I don't know if it was a bit scripted or that was just the AI and the way it was interacting, but the way it was, it ran over and then fell down that cliff.
I get the feeling that was the objective of it. That was the way. Otherwise, you would end up fighting it. I'm guessing that was just the way to kind of cheat the level.
Yeah.
You go to the edge, it runs at you, you get out the way, it stumbles, and you can escape. Otherwise, you've probably got to run for God knows how long, miles and miles and miles.
Yeah. Have you played any of the Metro games, Will?
I must admit, I did play. It was on PlayStation Plus a while ago on PS3. The Metro stuff. My main thing with the new Metro is I've watched that, and I've never been a fan of horror movies. I've never been a fan of suspense stuff. And you know what? Watching that trailer was too intense for me. It actually genuinely fucking creeped me out. And I watched it and I went, this is too scary, and I don't think I could actually enjoy sitting there on my own and just playing it. I think it would shit me up too much. It sounds really feeble. But actually, I don't think I want to play it, because just watching that trailer scared me too much.
I know what you're saying.
Is that
I
lame?
totally get that. But I'm the same, and that's how I am with a lot of VR stuff. But with Metro, the kind of payoff of it is that it's an incredibly well put together world. And like when you get into the underground systems and you see like the world building side of it, it's really a treat, honestly, like on a BioShock sort of level.
Yeah, you're right. It looks really intense, incredibly intense though, and I don't know if I can handle that intensity.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both games actually. I think I played Metro. I got Metro 2033. I think I rented it on Xbox 360, and then I played
back in
Last
the
Light
day.
on. Yeah, when you could do that sort of thing. I think you still can. But no, Last Light I really enjoyed. That was one of my games of the year it came out. So I'm totally, day one, probably for the new one.
I
Whenever it
started
comes
them
out.
and I just found them a bit too creepy, a bit too spooky, and I just never really got into them. It's not that I was strictly scared, it's just there are games I would go for after I find less intense. It's like I had Outlast on the PS4.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Kind of stuff.
I could not do that.
Exactly, but and again, it's that whole psychological thing. And watching that trailer for Metro made me feel it's like I'm going to be creeping along, and I've just got my little torch in the dark, and it's all foggy, and suddenly a fucking scary thing jumps out. And you know what?
Yeah, the thing is,
I don't need that.
You do have guns in the Metros. You don't have guns in
Yeah.
Outlast. That's kind of the.
you do have big
Well,
fucking
there is
guns
that.
in Metro.
There is that, but most of those things in Metro from the trailer jump out before you've really got a chance. They're in your face. They're straight there, and even if they're like a few yards away, I've got a chance with the gun. But go by the trailer, no, suddenly they're just basically there on you, in you, and up you.
Speaking of,
The problem with the Metro games is the fucking gas mask that gets all cracked and fucked up as you get more beaten up.
It's like me
And,
after a night on the beer. Yeah.
No, but there's whole parts in that game where I was just running around for dear life trying to find more oxygen, and you're like, do I go and find more oxygen, or do I just proceed and hope I don't run out of air? Oh, and there's monsters. So yeah, it's terrifying enough. They didn't even need to put monsters in.
I think the game's the trailer looked awesome. It really did look lovely. But the trouble is, when I've got this ability to just play like Shadow of War and just run around owning orcs, and I've got the ability to like go back to Fallout 4 in another thing, and I've got the ability to like go and just be a random biker rounding up zombies like I'm from Sons of Anarchy, but in The Last of Us, and all of that sort of shit. I just can't quite bring
Days
myself
Gone.
to the Metro. Oh, did I bring that into conversation?
Yeah, no, there is too much choice, and that's the thing. You should never feel compelled to play everything because there's just too much out there.
I haven't got the time to do many things, let alone anything.
Yeah, but Days Gone does look great. We got to see a bit more of it at the Sony briefer.
My opinion
presser,
has
even.
changed on Days Gone, I must say.
What, were you not that impressed at first then?
No, I really wasn't. I thought it looked very generic, very dull. But watching the gameplay video out in E3 was really interesting. It was watching them. It was very heavily stealth based. You're like, you go along on your Harley Davidson and in your biker gang shit, and I was like, oh, bored. Really dull. Bit Mad Max, the game. Going along on my big bike. Oh, and I awesome. Oh, I'm going to shoot someone with my shotgun off my bike, just like I did in Mad Max from my car. And then suddenly he ends up in this place where he's been taken off the bike by a rope strung across 2 trees by some bandits, and he's got to kill them. And then he goes past this camp, and they're far too overpowered for him. And he sneaks past. He like puts a bear trap in the hedges. And he throws a rock towards it and attracts someone's attention. And that one person from the bandit camp goes over. And he starts screaming because he's put his leg in a bear trap. And all of the people from the camp run over. So he can sneak past them. And I thought, oh, he's not going to try and kill them. And he sneaks past them. And then he goes through. And he sneaks past those. And there's this rampage, massive, like 50-odd zombies, 100 zombies, like just down in front of him, and he sneaks past those, and I'm suddenly thinking, oh, stealth.
I think that was the
key
that was the
here. This
main
makes
thing
things
about the game
interesting.
series. It was the number of zombies on screen at once. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
but
that was
it's
amazing.
still very much a zombie game, which is why I think a lot of people probably went,
Well, it is and it isn't. But it's what he did in the next bit of the gameplay demo which really interested me, because he sneaks past this zombie horde and he gets to another bandit camp, and he kind of see there's loads of bandits on the ground floor, and the person he wants to is on the like raised above the ground. So he goes and he gets a bit of like C4 or plastic explosive of some sort with a timer, and he puts it on this weak area between the camp and the zombie horde that's the other side. He blows away the barrier, and all the zombies don't just start walking towards, no, they start running. It's running zombies, I'll point out. They start running towards where all the bandits are, because he's destroyed the barrier between, and they all run through, clear out all the bandits underneath, and he then climbs up and finishes the other. And I'm thinking, this is interesting. That's actually quite strategic. Maybe this isn't completely generic rip-off of Sons of Anarchy / The Last of Us. Maybe, and I'm not certain, this might have something going for it.
I think it's got that kind of density that Horizon has, you know, like the world and stuff. Feels like, it just looks really cool. I was watching it, I was just thinking, I can imagine playing this, you know, it's very violent, but I like the approach to the whole zombie thing. I feel like I feel like I'm ready to let zombies back into my life again.
It
after
looks
being
more
completely
interesting
saturated
than I
with them.
thought it was. It looked really generic in the first one. I kind of liked the whole, I'm driving around on my motorbike and there's a big horde of zombies. I'm going to use my zombies to use my motorbike to move the zombies. But this year I think it's a bit more refined. It's shown some genuine gameplay, and I think it's actually really interesting.
To mention, and now for something completely different. Evil Within 2. You mentioned...
I thought you were going to go for a man with 3 buttons. But
you're talking about games that would
yours.
literally scare the crap out of you. I watched the trailer for that. I was intrigued, but I was also aware it was a game I was never ever going to play because I'd just be a crying wreck in the corner. That game looked...
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm not... As I've given you the impression from Metro.
But it looked so damn good. I don't know if it was just the way the trailer was cut, but that game looked like it looked horror. So it It intrigued
I haven't
me.
even watched the videos
it just
for it,
looks
to be honest.
so weird. There's like loads of weird metaphorical stuff going on. Some proper corridor horror with spectres, like doing the whole stutter run at you kind of thing. It was just, I was watching it thinking, okay, this is definitely, I don't know what happened in the first game. And apparently in the first game, parts of it are good and it loses its way a little bit. I think with either the way the mechanics of the game or something, but it got me intrigued enough to possibly play it at some point in the future when I've grown a pair. But
You'll probably be able to pick
I know,
up the
but I
first
just
one
probably
for a
won't play
fiver
it,
at this
like I said,
point.
until I've got a pair or grown a pair. But it just it really intrigued me. That was one of the ones that really stood out for me. Because normally with the whole sort of, creepy songs and all that sort of thing, you kind of gloss over because like, okay, it's the same horror tropes over and over again. But when you have that in a game, you can't escape it. It's like, I was watching the playthrough of Resident Evil 7. There's a bit where you have to go into this room and it's pitch black. And playing that on VR and you know that the ghost girl's involved in that. It's that era of, in the film, you sit and watch the protagonist go through this or whatever and you do the jump scare. In the game, you have to make this happen. The whole thing has to occur because you have to instigate it. And that's a level of fear I'm not sure I'm ready for.
It's $9.75, the first
Excellent.
one.
I might have
on
to get
Xbox
that.
One.
I'll send you my
that's cheap.
review through tears at some point.
Yeah, I literally just can't play that kind of game.
Susan
it just
love it.
fucks me up too much.
She loves horror stuff. She'd love the fact that I'd be crying about playing it as well. But,
What would be more fun to
both.
playing it or watching you
just
play
like
it?
the best of both worlds. But, no, it's, that kind of intrigued
Split
me,
screen,
as well
then.
as like Monster Hunter and everything else that we've mentioned.
One I wanted to go into, which we haven't put on our list, because I never played the original, and I watched the trailer, and it just made me think of basically Fifth Element with weird London yardiness and
Lots of
some animal
swearing.
stuff. Yes, that's the bunny. You know where I'm coming from here. So
Oh,
beyond,
yeah, I
beyond
know
Good
exactly
and
where
Evil
you're
2, have
No.
either of you played the original? Do you know anything about it?
I played the original on the original Xbox.
What was the
'cause
original?
the original. That's what it was on. It
What
was
kind of game
it was
it?
It was a third-person sort of action adventure with like some quite odd combat and lots of sort of planet hopping, from what I remember. It was a very cool game. If you go back and play it now, it's impenetrable. The graphics are god awful, but it's really quite interesting because Jim Sterling did his snarky little voiceover of the trailer. Incidentally, I almost mentioned this when we were talking about Ubisoft. They didn't even they were like so past the point of like showing us something that was going to be representative of the game. They just gave us a CG trailer for it.
Yeah.
Because this game's been in development for years. They teased it about 4 or 5 years ago, and then since then there was nothing. And so Michel Ancel, who makes the game, has been working on other things apparently. But it's weird, they're kind of setting up some kind of community around this game so that they can make it what the fans want. Because honestly, I don't think they have a fucking clue. It's going to be a prequel of some kind, so it's been said.
I've heard people saying it should be called Before Good and Evil rather than Beyond Good and Evil 2. But then it makes it really awkward to name the next one in the series.
Yeah, I don't know why they're even bothering calling it 2, because that makes no sense. I think really at this point it's so far off. They're trying to buy in as much audience as they can, and not alienate anyone who's heard of this revered mystical game but can't get past the fact that it looks so fucking shit now.
No, the original does. What I would say, the fucking trailer is amazing, and I thought it was really interesting, but it doesn't give you the faintest idea of what kind of game it is. What you've got is like this monkey that's basically born in a London council estate going, yeah, blood, I got the disc right, innit? Yeah, boom, shaka.
Yeah.
That's how they talk in London.
I think the conceit is that there's been lots of gene splicing going on, and a lot of these kind of animal hybrids have been subjugated, and there's been a revolution, and now they've all kind of got their freedom.
So why have
and
they
it's
all
about
got
the
an inner
fallout of
London
that.
accent? That's what baffles me. I mean, because you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, and Aloy, or Aloy, or whatever she's called, she's clearly American. So how is it the pig is like from Northampton, innit?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
North
that's where he grew up.
Baffling.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We're running.
He should have been
kind
from
of.
Hammersmith. Come
Anyway.
on, come on.
Oh,
West Ham.
Okay.
Okay.
How's
I
it
think
going,
we're. What?
okay, I'll tell you
What's
what.
next? Sorry,
I would
time.
mention.
We're kind of approaching the end of time. Yeah. I just wanted to the end of time. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we've got about an hour, and I didn't want to go on much longer. But there's a few games.
We
just
can do
just
another
a quick,
hour easy. Come on, let's do it.
I don't think we can do an hour of this. There's other bits we need to go on. I need to do as well. There's I just wanted to quickly mention, God of
Same
War
here.
is looking great. We got to see a bit more of what it's about. It still doesn't look anything like God of War.
Just looks like a bog standard hack and slash
I don't know.
attempt at an action RPG that won't be
Yeah,
that
but the other one
RPG
was
to me.
the other one was a
I
hack
wasn't
and slash.
impressed,
So I'm
personally.
intrigued. God of War. If you love those games, the idea of giving God of War an actual story, hence I've called it, aka last of the God of War of us. It's basically that. Isn't it? It's
Yeah.
Oh, that's tentative.
no, but that's what it
really
is. You
tentative.
give him a son, give him some purpose, whether it is his son or not. But it just feels like there's more. This is basically Logan version of God of War, and I'm instantly intrigued. I was the last one, so I might actually be getting this. I played one or two of the other ones, but
Well, yeah, I've played not quite all of them. I think I've played all of them bar the one after 3, because it felt like a little bit of a they
they're
were
just
stringing it
turning
out a bit at that point.
Yeah, they dialed it in basically.
Yeah, the same reason I haven't played any of the any of the Gears of War past number 3.
Are they related?
Ah.
Gears and God?
No.
Or
No,
genuine
nothing's-
question.
One is Microsoft, one is Sony. They just
Oh,
have the
fair
same acronym.
Oh, yeah, moving on.
Just to confuse things. I have another question. One I didn't put on the list, but it should be massively on the radar for any gamer type geek. Was the whole new Assassin's Creed thing?
I don't know.
Anyone?
I'm
look
going
at
to
that?
wait until it's actually closer to being revealed. It's intriguing. I like the fact that they're taking it back to the origins, but to be honest, we knew that they could basically rehash the whole thing from any point of view, and everyone's really waiting for the Japan edition or Far East. They did China, but everyone's waiting basically
Yeah,
to
but that
play a
was
Japanese
like a
assassin
2D job.
with a katana.
2.5D.
Let's not lie. That's the only reason. And they won't make it because when they do, no one will buy any other games other than that. And Assassin's Creed will be done. Unless
Is
they
that
do
the-
a
that
Wild
the plan?
West
So
one.
Did anyone watch the whole Assassin's? Interesting point. But did anyone watch the whole Assassin's
I watched
Creed
most of it.
Egypt trailer? Have opinions?
I've watched a lot of it. It looks, I don't know. The thing is, the last one I played was Black Flag. Since then, they've put out about another 20 games, and I haven't played any of them.
3.
So
Rob, I think
just
you're
haven't
being
played all of
unfair,
it
Rob.
because
I think you're
none
being
of them I
unfair.
finished.
20 is a ridiculous number to put.
Yeah.
It was actually 72 trillion, but
Yeah.
that's not... No, yeah.
Plus,
I think it's like 8
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
it
mobile
was-
ones.
Yeah, if you include like those
Oh, yeah.
weird side-scrolly things, there's been about 8, I think. But no, seriously, I wouldn't. I'm up for it. The problem is it's all about scheduling really, and those games are fucking massive. And yeah, it's just whether I mean, if it gets really well reviewed, but it's out the same day as Wolfenstein, and right now they've built up an awful lot of goodwill with me,
Bethesda, yeah.
And I'm more likely to put my money down. And the thing is, that is 2 weeks after Shadow of War, so I'll still be playing that probably.
Yeah. What I would say is, I did Black Flag and platinumed it on the PlayStation, and I did Unity. I did the other one,
Syndicate,
and I did Syndicate, Unity, and also Rogue, which was the alternative one. So I've done all 3 of those. I didn't finish any of them. Got bored, and I platinumed Black Flag. I thought it was wonderful. What I would say is looking at the Far Cry. Yeah, but looking at the Far Cry 5 trailer, if they have learnt from what they're doing wrong, and if they're growing up a bit, then maybe this will be good. Maybe.
Yeah.
So,
well, it looks like they've not talked about multiplayer or any of the future weird shit. I know that's kind of a little part of all those games, but they. I love the look of it. I love the setting. I like that it's a prequel. I'm probably more likely to jump in on that basis. I think the whole continuity thing with whatever his name was, what was his name? Miles, was it? Desmond, that's it. Yeah, no, I think Desmond that's all kind of in Black Flag, wasn't it? I think. Spoiler for several years old game. I think it was one of them.
Before that. It might have even been 3, wasn't it? But yeah, no. I mean, there was a few games I was intrigued. I mean, I am genuinely stoked for Monster Hunter because I've played a few games, and I think when we were recording the RPG one, my experience of playing a bootleg copy of Monster Hunter because it wasn't released in this country, and having the fucking main antagonist chase me all the way back to the starter village and then kill me before I got back there. That kind of stays with you. That is still my benchmark for aggroing bosses, I don't think I've ever had a fucker chase me through 5 levels and kill me before I got back to the start. So it's got a lot to live up to, but also I'm going to be very careful around this game. What do you think about the Sony conference? I thought it was a little strange.
I thought it was good, but it's just that most of the games they had there were we'd already seen them.
I found it a bit strange because it was it Reggie, isn't it? Was it Reggie? Or am I confusing with the Nintendo one? Yeah, it was.
Reggie's the Nintendo guy.
Whoever it was, the Sony guy. He came up, he said hi, he spoke a little bit, they played loads of films and in between trailers that linked into each other, turned up, said bye, and then Spider-Man showed. I thought Spider-Man was an interesting way to end the conference. I did not expect that to be a conference ender.
Oh, they're betting big on that.
This is what worries me, because as
EP,
much as I liked the game and I thought it was cool, I didn't think it was as big to end a conference on. But
it's kind of a
that's the thing,
big thing, isn't it?
That
Marvel
whole sequence could have been like it could have been like God, it could have been like the the chase sequence we saw in what's that game? Not Tomb Raider, but man, Uncharted. That was it.
Uncharted.
Going through. Well,
Tomb Raider,
exactly
man.
What it was. They saw Tomb Raider and went,
Tomb Raider,
one
man.
with a man, and then then Uncharted was born. Indiana Charted.
Da, da, da,
Yeah, exactly. But
da,
yes, no.
da.
Anyway, back. But that whole sequence
Indiana
felt
Jones woman.
it could have
How
been
do we
like
do
the
that?
Uncharted chase sequence. We don't know the context of where it was in the game,
But that's kind of
which is why I was a little bit skeptical. But my God, it looked good when he was going through the debris of that sign and everything else. And
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looked wicked. The only other things at the Sony conference that were good, the one thing they announced that I didn't expect we'd see so soon was more content for Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds expansion. So more content.
Christ, why wouldn't they announce it?
Well, yeah, because
That's their biggest game this year, really.
yeah, it's their biggest new IP of the generation. So yeah, it's a big deal, and we're getting that, and we're getting more content for Uncharted, which started off as DLC, but I think has turned into its own whole sort of. It's not a full price game, but apparently it's supposed to be longer than the earlier games in the series, but not quite as epic as Uncharted 4. So looking forward to that.
Did we see any more, and I genuinely don't know the answer to this, did we see any more of The Last of Us 2?
No. They wouldn't do that because they've got Uncharted to flip first. So, yeah, it'll be next year.
But they announced Last of Us 2 as a teaser a while ago, so why wouldn't they?
They did announce it, but I think they just wanted
it's
to...
marketing. It's to put the news out there
I
that
don't
it's
think
there.
want to...
And that's all they needed to do. You know it's coming.
Yeah. They need that. They need that.
Yeah, keep people with that console.
Yeah, they need that for next year after a lot of those games have come out. It'll be the big deal at the end of this generation, I reckon. If there ever is an end to it. So, yeah, I'm pretty much done. I've mentioned most of the things I wanted to talk about.
There was
unless
one
anyone's
intriguing
got anything
game.
else.
There was a
I'm
game
happy
called
to leave it there.
Ashen, which was just going to come out on the Xbox, which looked very Dark Soulsy. Even the name of it felt a bit Dark Soulsy. But yeah, that kind of intrigued me. Only because it made me want to. I think it is.
Is that Xbox only? Well, assuming it's Xbox only, it's Xbox
but
and PC.
I think it just
not
made me want to
PS.
go and play Dark Souls.
Yeah,
because that's something I haven't quite tapped into yet. But I've watched a few Let's Plays and stuff, and that looks a bit, shall we say, pant-wetting at times with the boss battles. But
plenty of that over in Sony land with Bloodborne as well. So,
I do have a general question, and this is one for all of you, and general thoughts. And apologies, Rob, because this will drag it on a bit. But we've spoken about an awful lot of specifics from E3. Now, I don't think Sony was as good this year on their general exclusives, although I think they've done fairly well. But how do we feel in general about E3 this year? Good E3, bad E3? Who's done well?
I think there was a lot of good games. I think Sony suffered slightly by relying on a lot of games that still haven't come out, and so we got to see a bit more of them. I think Ubisoft had an incredibly strong slate, and the Beyond Good and Evil thing, despite being a bit of a CGI fest, it was definitely a crowd pleaser. Microsoft again, I find a little underwhelming. They still badly need exclusives and reasons to buy an Xbox, because currently there is not one. Not unless you're too lazy to have a decent PC.
Well, thing is, for 450 quid, I think it is roughly, you could, particularly if you've already got one and you have the controllers, you can have a top spec PC in your living room as a gaming box. So I think it's an interesting point, because the money you would spend on a gaming spec PC for that similar level of graphics, you could have an awful lot cheaper as a console in your living room, and that keeps certain people very happy. Just an alternative perspective for the people outside of us proper geeks.
No,
if you want to say you've got the most powerful console, that's the one you're going to have to go for. But you haven't got the exclusives.
I think it was funny. Michael Pachter, who we were talking about briefly before we went to record, when asked about, Jeff Keighley asked him, how do you think Sony's going to feel about Microsoft having a more powerful box? Michael Pachter's answer was, it's a bit like sort of saying, who's the tallest midget?
Yeah.
So, and I agree with that.
Isn't it?
At the end of the day, they're going to be making those. They're going to have the same games coming across on both, except Sony will have games that you will buy the machine for, and Microsoft will just have games that you will play because you can't afford a decent PC. So,
I think that's it. If you want to play the best multi-platform games, if you want to play multi-platform games on a console in the best format, then that's your Xbox.
Yeah.
If you want to have the best console games, that's your piece. That's your PS4.
Yeah.
So, but what did you think of the Bethesda conference? Because that disappointed me this year. I was hoping for more.
Well, we were never going to get a new Skyrim, but we were never going to get a new Skyrim or anything like that. But I think it's just.
There was a rumor.
Yeah, they're still miles away from that, and the rumors were.
No, there was a rumor. There's a rumor that interested me, and it was not Fallout, and it was not Elder Scrolls. It was like Star something that was going to be based on their new engine, and I was really hoping we'd hear something about that.
Oh yeah, the new IP or something or other.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently they are doing something, but
Starfield, that's the one. I was looking at that, and that was meant to be on the same engine. I was hoping to see that this year.
Oh, I didn't really know too much, to be honest. Ignorance is bliss and all that. The thing is, I don't know if I need another Skyrim. I only just fucking finished that. It took me about 6 years. But I know I'm not talking for everyone, just myself. But I think they had a pretty good showing actually with Wolfenstein, and I know Evil Within is not really for me. But what else did they have? Oh, they had the Fallouts, and I suppose it was just
the VR announcements.
Yeah, I suppose it was just Wolfenstein.
But it was kind of like they had the VR announcements, and they had expansion to Dishonored, and they had the new Wolfenstein, and that was pretty much it. There was nothing special there. I was hoping for more, but they've kind of started because they did it was their third one. On their first one, they announced Fallout 4. On their second one, they announced Dishonored 2 and a couple of other bits. And they went into more about the Doom. And on this one, there was nothing new. I was hoping for more excitement.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I suppose, it was really just Wolfenstein, wasn't it? That was their crown jewels,
yeah.
I think. But that was kind of enough for me. I mean, I was just taking notes of all the games that were coming out as I was watching all the coverage, and I've got a list here of almost 30 games. Not half of which I expect to play.
Not as bad.
I know they're a great company. I think maybe next year we'll see more. Oh, there was Dishonored DLC that they mentioned.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The death of the Outsider or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I might give that a look. I generally deprioritise DLC, when there's other games that year I want to play.
Yeah. Although realistically, okay, so from the other approach, and to wind this down, this year, soon, I've got Shadow of War. I've got. Oh, what else we got? We've got stuff coming up. We've got.
We've got everything.
Someone shout.
We've got everything.
Shadow of War's the only one I
What,
can
this
think
year?
of. Yeah, what have we got coming up? Wolfenstein
This year, right? I'll tell you what's coming out between now and Christmas.
Oh, lovely!
Right, we've got the remake of Final Fantasy 12. We've got Pyre, which is by Supergiant, who did Bastion. Tacoma, which is by the people that did Gone Home. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Destiny 2. Dishonored DLC is out before Christmas. Cuphead, which people won't shut up about.
I've heard about that. That doesn't interest me.
Shadow of War.
Yes.
South Park, the Frozen Butthole.
That I'm looking forward to.
Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed Oranges, and that takes, and that's without all the usual Call of Duty Battlefront. That's like my list of what I'm interested in, like between now and Christmas. So I probably won't get to half of that.
Works.
So there's plenty there to get involved with.
There was one more quick mention.
No, this is going to be fun.
We left it off the list, and I left it off mine. There was one game I was quite nice to see a sequel, Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Willow of the Wisp.
Oh yeah, I still haven't watched any of the footage for that.
The first game was just so cool. But the second, I don't know, just if that's in game, what they were showing when it was panning along and stuff, that looks incredible. The first one's just so emotional. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad that's got a sequel, to be honest. It would have been great as a one-off, but
Yeah, I'm looking up that trailer.
as a
'cause I
sequel,
said-
yes. That's it, yeah.
Ori and the
I was
Will of
thinking
the
Will of the
Wisps. Is that right? 4K teaser. Cool, I'll watch that in a sec.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
I'm sure they played at the Army and Navy back in 1998.
But yeah.
Yeah, sounds like that. Cool, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that'll probably be an Xbox/PC exclusive.
so.
I think it was at
I
the
reckon it'll be a
Microsoft
timed
conference, which is-
exclusive.
the thing is,
reckon
yeah, I
something
didn't
like that
watch
can't
any
be
of the...
kept to just one console. I'm pretty certain.
I think you'll find
Oh, wow.
Ori is not on PS4.
That's odd.
I'm pretty sure that's theirs.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, never coming to PS4. No, because they Microsoft financed it. So they do have exclusives, but because they all come to PC, they just
Didn't they finance the last Tomb Raider?
they paid for exclusivity for a year.
No.
Oh yeah, there was nothing about Tomb Raider at E3. That's actually worth mentioning. Was there any other things that we expected to see but didn't?
Apart from the last Bethesda, not really.
I thought we might see Borderlands 3.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
We've been playing the pre-sequel, me, Ian, and a couple of other guys. We're kind of almost all the way through it now. I think
I expected to see at least something related to the Final Fantasy VII remake. There was nothing. Even if it was a picture.
I was
reckon
chatting
the
to someone
game's
at work
broken,
about that.
And I don't have much hope about the game. So, like Ian, I'm keeping my expectations along the ground. Possibly in...
Actually, wasn't there something about the next Sonic the Hedgehog game, Rob?
Oh, I can't talk about that.
No, you can definitely talk about the next Sonic the Hedgehog game. I'm sure there was stuff announced, like you can make your own character, and like be the most appalling mutant hedgehog you want to, and it's kind of got this 3D
I think
and
Rob's
2D
bound
stuff.
by martial
Rob,
law.
why can't you talk about it?
I've already mentioned why I can't talk about it on here, but I can talk about it, but I can't. I have to remain impartial.
No, you can't give detail.
Well, I can explain what the next Sonic game is. Sonic Mania.
There was a Sonic the Hedgehog. There was definitely a Sonic the Hedgehog mention in E3, right?
Yeah, I mean, I watched an interview with it, and they explained that Sonic Mania is basically a big kind of community-led sort of kind of. It's a bit of a sort of tribute to the old stuff. They've kind of reworked a lot of the old levels and stuff, and then later on in the year, or I think maybe early 2018 actually. I must check my facts. They're bringing out Sonic Forces, which is kind of a big sort of mashup of all the different styles of Sonic, but it's like an official game.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what's happening with Sonic. I'm building the fucking websites for those games right now. That's my job. That is. That's what I get paid to do.
I'm not going to try and force anything inappropriate out of you, Rob. That would be a terrible thing. But
No.
What's
I thought
that,
it was
Rob?
worth
You can
mentioning.
play as,
There's another
you can
Sonic
play as
game.
Mario,
Yeah, they
Rob?
would do it.
What's that?
Oh,
No.
oh, and also talk about that. Okay, because
No.
none of us are switchers. Let's face it.
No.
But there's
Switchers.
this whole fucking
Yeah.
Mario,
the UB
Mario
Nintendo
versus Rabbids
collaboration.
shit going on.
Yeah.
Now that
Well,
is
to be honest,
bizarre.
Yeah, Miyamoto
it
was
was
on
very
stage,
strange.
wasn't he?
but I
Crazy.
expected no less from a Nintendo conference or a Nintendo Direct. They're very odd. I know it's a Ubisoft one, but Nintendo are a strange company, and I think they've positioned themselves as the Monster Raving Looney Party of the gaming world. They come up with stuff that you would go, oh, that's pretty cool as a concept. Oh, you've gone with it for an entire plan. But they stick with it. So in that respect, I respect them for at least sticking to their guns.
Well,
I think
they've been.
I'm going to get me a Switch.
Yeah, I think I'll probably cave eventually. I'm just waiting for the software lineup to mature a little bit, and there be a little bit more choice, and kind of get an idea of what's going to be available. You know, I'm hoping they'll
And
put.
cheaper per game.
Yeah, it's stupid getting into it right now. I think they'll. I really want them to put Dark Souls on it, because that is a game that I think I would appreciate
Yes.
in isolation on that fucker of a commute that we both have. I think like
Yeah.
I think we would really benefit. Like, that would be the ideal sort of circumstances. That's how I finished Ninja Gaiden, because I was just like, well, I'm just going to play it now for half an hour until I fucking beat it. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't care that I was playing the same bit over and over again, because it was still much more fun than just sitting there on a fucking train full of miserable fuckers. You know, so...
Well, that's an interesting point for the Switch. So I reckon a lot of the games they're going for are kind of the short-term games, because people can play them on the bus or play them when they're doing their this and this. Because it's kind of the handheld perspective. But you've got the hardcore commuters who spend like an hour and 45 each way or whatever, and can, out of that commute, because you can't do the whole thing, you can probably spend an hour. Let's arguably say you can spend an hour of that commute playing computer games. You could do an hour each way, an hour back, and you've got 2 hours of gaming time.
Yeah.
And that's when the Switch comes in like a fucking magnificent beast, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And at that point, you can kind of go, I can play whatever game I want to. And now, to me, Skyrim is the one that will get me back in that. Because I never did get my platinum.
No.
But I'll take it.
Yeah, see, I'm done with
But
Skyrim.
what would you really want to see on the Switch, Rob?
I'd like... well, I don't know. Let's take a look at my massive pile of shame, shall we?
I'd like to bring Fantasy Star Online too.
I use it
because it exists online. I know I keep mentioning this game.
Frankly, most of
not
the
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy Star
games would
Online,
work out well.
the old Dreamcast one, the online multiplayer game. Because I actually signed up to the Japanese servers on my PC, and I have a game character on there. I just can't understand the story.
Oh, look at you!
I'm a gaijin in Ragnar.
Is it all in Japanese?
But it just felt so good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would love for them to bring that back, because it was such a fucking good game. Seriously. I mean, I can't emphasize how big the community was for this game. At one point, it spanned 3 consoles. You had the Xbox, you had the Dreamcast, Xbox, and GameCube all playing on the Sega servers. And my God, at that point, life felt good.
What? Yeah. What I don't want to see on the Switch is multiplayer games. I want games that will let me just come in and play them. None of that Mario Kart shit where I have to compete against other people playing Mario Kart. None of the Splatoon shit where I need to play against other people playing Splatoon. I want Zelda-esque games where I can just be me playing a game. Because there's too much... online multiplayer going on at the moment.
You say
too
that,
many games
but I would
coming
love
out
for them to make
online.
a decent Star Fox game, a single player Star Fox game on the Switch. But you've got the option
inevitable
of co-op joining in to your game. The option, so it's like your mates come in and go,
always,
"Can I join you on this mission?" I will join you on this
game
mission, and then another A-wing just flies in. And then why the hell not? Have 2 more, 3 more. And they cross over and do all that sort of stuff, and you're all just loving it.
Yeah.
But then they can bugger off and you could continue with your game.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah.
And this takes us nicely to a closing point, takes us right to the first game we mentioned on this podcast, which was Skull and Bones, or whatever it's called. The Ubisoft pirate game, which I believe is going to be pretty much multiplayer. The one I really wanted to be single player. The one where I wanted to be able to just go out on my own, in my ship, and do what I wanted. Which turns out, I believe, to be the game where I can't really do that.
Yeah.
I've got to rely on other people online to do the different things. But no, what I want is the games where I can just chill out and do what I want to do.
So, as a final note relating to that, they did actually address that, and they did issue a challenge indirectly. They said that the game is about co-op, and, you know, being able to survive like the pirate hunters coming after you, the fact that you can sacrifice yourself to let your fleet escape. They did actually say, could one person do all of that? And then they said it'll be, I don't know, probably impossible, but that person would be legendary. I'm willing to bet that there are some crazy people out there that are going to try and play this game on their own.
Oh, I get that. I just want to play the game without having to give the shit about any other people.
I guess
well,
on that bombshell, we should call it a day or an evening.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it.
On that bombshell, that's a fucking Jeremy Clarkson statement.
It's not the first time we've used it, though.
Oh, dirty people.
Cool.
Right,
Okay.
on that on that miserable note.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dude,
let's call it a
it's been
night.
fun, lads.
Yeah, about time.
See ya.
Love you guys. Peace out.
This has been the Not Playing podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself, Marcus and Ian talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening podcast. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
With no booty, my friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck. You suck. I suck at